Hey everybody,
Hi.
it's us again.
Woo!
We're in Germany. This is a little different from how we've normally done it. Normally we do like a video a day. We're in Germany for 2 weeks. Actually, she's here for longer. That's too many videos. So we'll just do it in chunks. So Princess, you came to Germany first.
Yes.
So you could,
So I could go to Spielessen.
which is,
the biggest board game convention in the world.
so tell us a little bit about how that went.
Well, it was a lot of humans, a lot of bodies, a huge convention center with over 200,000 people visiting, and it's an opportunity for board game companies to try to sell their board games to you. So a lot of them have demo areas set up where you can play the games, you can test out the games before buying them, and some of them were really popular and you had to sign up in advance to get in on the demos. And yeah, so
You bought a whole bunch of board games and shipped them back.
yes, I did. Yes, because I am not going to take them back on the airplane.
And then you took a train ride to Berlin.
Train to Berlin, yeah.
And waited on me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I did 16 hours of traveling to arrive in Berlin. Met up with Princess, had some schnitzel in Berlin, and went to sleep for 12 hours.
That sounds about right, actually.
That was my day one. So my real first full day in Berlin, we had breakfast at Enzo's because the little smiling happy dog got our attention.
Yes, the little puppy. It was, what kind of dog is that?
It almost looked like a palm.
No, it was like what's like the big fluffy version of a husky? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I don't know the name.
It was a big fluffy husky.
And we began what has been most of my meals here, where you order something and you have no idea what you're going to get. Because we ordered pancakes.
No, we ordered souffle pancakes, and we really should have expected what we got.
I just saw pancakes. I didn't see souffle.
Souffle, it said souffle pancakes.
I ordered pancakes.
Okay, it was literal souffles. It was a stack of like 3 souffles about yay big.
I'm adding pictures. They'll see them.
And they were souffles. They were mine was delicious.
They were very good. They were very rich.
Oh my god, and my chai latte. That place has the best chai lattes. Like, oh my god.
And then we did some museums.
Yes.
Right.
The first museum, I don't remember. It's like the German History Museum, I think is what it's called.
Oh yes, it was the Roads Not Taken.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which was German history going backwards to just before the founding of Germany as a country.
Going through like major turning points in time and
how things
could have gone differently at any one of those moments if things had just tipped slightly one way or the other.
It was interesting. I didn't know a super lot about German history. I knew the big details that I think most of us know.
Yeah, it was weird going backwards in time because I felt like I needed the context of the earlier moments in time to really understand the later moments in time.
But I also thought if you're doing what ifs, then you do need to do it in that order, because otherwise your what ifs branch off too much.
Yeah, I guess, but I think maybe their audience is Germans who've already gone through history class and like know all of this stuff already, so they're not like learning it all fresh.
I also don't have a stand on this trip, so you're going to have to excuse me as I adjust my hand, because it's really tiring holding the camera out there like this.
It happens.
Yep. And then the second one we went to was the Old Museum, or the
new
museum, which largely was Egyptology.
Yeah, there was like one half of it was Egypt stuff, and then the other half of it was Grecian stuff, and we kind of ignored the Grecian part.
You've seen one urn.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Greek art everywhere. The Egyptian stuff was more interesting for me. You were kind of bored at the top. Well, I'm saying when we got down to the bottom, there was stuff you found more interesting.
Yeah. And then we come to the part of the story that Princess and I are going to disagree on.
What part is that?
One of the things that we thought would be interesting to do would be to go to a movie theater and see a German film, but with English
You missed a
subtitles.
spot.
Oh, what did I miss?
Elvenwald.
That was first. You're right. I was looking for interesting things to do in Berlin, so I was Googling, fun, unusual things to do in Berlin, and there's a lot of Holocaust museums, which are not fun. But it recommended a shop called Elbenwald, which was a nerd store. It's like top 15 places to visit in Berlin. It was a very small store in a mall.
Very small.
It was not at all what you would expect from something that's being on that list. It was cool. I mean, they had some neat stuff, but...
They had some obscure stuff, but most of it, like a quarter of it was Harry Potter, another quarter of it was Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they had a section that was like anime, which I didn't get, and then like just some random stuff all thrown together. You know what they didn't have any of? The Witcher. They needed to have The Witcher.
They even had a huge collection of swords and nothing Witcher.
I would have bought so much Witcher stuff. But anyway, none of that happened. We did find a gaming cafe on our way back, where you can just, I think you can just like rent time and play video games. Like,
and they host events and stuff like that.
But it also had like an actual store where you can buy laptops. So I think it was like one of those like you try them out before you buy them type things. I thought it was cute.
Yeah. And then the movie. Okay, I wanted to go, for the record, I wanted to go to the DDR museum. So we were walking towards the DDR museum. It's not what you think it is. It's not Dance Revolution. It's something else. Yeah. We'll talk about it later. But on the way there, Jeff is like, "Hey, that's a movie theater." And I was like, "Oh, you want to stop and check it out?" And he's like, "Yeah, might as well." Well, because we'd been talking about wanting to see a German film with English subtitles, but it's very hard looking at websites and looking at like Google Maps to see, okay, is there a show time for a German film with English subtitles? So at one point, Princess said,
No. You know what else Jeff has been talking about this literal entire trip? How much he wants to go see the new Joker movie. Non-stop. I want to go see the new Joker movie. It's supposed to be so bad. I want to see it.
It is more, this is my destiny. I have to see it because it's so bad. Not necessarily that I want to, but that I will. I wasn't even necessarily planning on seeing it in theaters. I just knew at some point, because we see advertisements for it everywhere here, or in Berlin.
There are a lot of ads.
Yeah. So the purpose was to go inside this movie theater and ask, did they have German films with English subtitles? And
it was readily apparent to me, without even going into the theater, that they did not have any German films.
But we were right there. It didn't hurt to ask.
Oh, okay.
I told you we're not going to agree on this part of the story. So as we're talking to the woman, she starts explaining that the films that they have in the English language, and the Joker 2 was starting up in like 15 minutes. And Princess was just like, well, you've been wanting to do it, so I guess we're doing it.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened.
That's totally what happened. So it's Princess's fault that we spent hours in a movie theater in Berlin watching the second Joker movie.
It wasn't good. No. But it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
It wasn't as bad as its reputation. It was just there.
It wasn't like aggressively not good. It was just not good.
And at that point, Princess wasn't feeling well. She caught a little bit of con flu.
Yeah.
So that was the end of day one, basically. I don't think we did anything else. We might have gotten something else to eat, maybe. But
French fries.
Yes, there was a smash burger right outside our hotel.
Chips are really big in Germany, like very popular. They don't call them chips; they call them pommes.
Yes,
pommes.
Germans know what they're doing with potatoes.
They do. They do good potatoes.
So day two.
Day two.
We did more museums.
Laundry.
Yes, we had to go find a place to do laundry. She'd been here longer than I had, obviously, but we figured let's do both the laundry. And we knew we were leaving Berlin the next day.
And guess who laundered all of their clothes so that they wouldn't have any clothes to wear for the next day to go pick up the laundry?
Hint, it wasn't me. Yeah, she ended up having to sleep in some of my clean clothes because she didn't have any.
I didn't have any sleep clothes.
We had to go to a German pharmacy to get some stuff for your cold.
That was brilliant. The lady there was so helpful.
Yeah, it was almost like going to a CVS Minute Clinic or something. It was not like going to a pharmacy and just like talking to a girl working the register. She was like, what are your symptoms? What kind of medications do you take? Okay, you're going to want to take this for that symptom. Don't take this with this. Instead, take this. Do this 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Don't do it for more than 5 days. Like, it was almost like going to a doctor. It was
she was
pretty
great.
cool.
She was super awesome. And I think it actually really helps too, because I was getting really bad, like, runny nose and like sinus congestion, like up in this area on my face. And I haven't, like, today I've had very little of anything, so.
This is my first time traveling to a country where English is not the native language, which concerned me a little bit, but I gotta say, almost everybody speaks a little English because they're enough to get by. It's great.
Yeah, just imagine being somewhere where nobody speaks English.
I do keep getting caught up on the fact that I can't read some of the stuff. A lot of the stuff has English with it, but like you go to the pharmacy to look at stuff on the shelf and it's like, oh, that's right, it's all German.
Why is it all in German? Who would do this?
The perfect equivalency is, because I think almost everybody's done this, if the electricity goes off at your house and you're like, oh, I can't watch TV anymore. Well, I'll just turn on a light and read a book. And then the light doesn't work. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right, no electricity, damn it. That's what it's like every time I look at a menu or look at the items on shelves and it's like, oh, that's right, German, shit.
He has multiple times now looked at a menu and gone, oh, I need to translate this. And I'm like, it's in English and German.
Except sometimes the English is underneath the German, sometimes it's on the other side from the German. There's not a lot of consistency, okay? Anyway.
Laundry.
Laundry.
Pharmacy. What else did we do? Oh, we went to we got breakfast at that Frühstück 3000 place.
Oh, yeah, where I got frittatas 3000. Yeah, breakfast 3000.
I think they knew that we were annoying Americans or something because they sat us in the worst possible table in the house where the sun is just blaring in our faces. Like, he was getting it even though his back was to the sun. That's how bright it was.
Probably the thing I'm still coping with the most is the rationing of liquids.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we're used to, as Americans, you go to a restaurant, you get a Coke, they're just going to keep coming by and filling up your Coke. You get water for days, son. No, not here. You order a Coke, you get a bottle of Coke and a glass. When that bottle is gone, so is your Coke. You order water, still water. You get a bottle of water. When that water is gone, you don't have water anymore. You want to buy another bottle? You can buy another bottle. So as your liquids arrive, you have to like mentally go, all right, how much of this can I have now? How much of it can I have? Okay, I got to ration this out so I can end the meal with some liquid. That's the biggest adjustment, honestly. It's not even the language barrier. It's the liquid rationing. Guys, the war's over.
This
Just
is
drink.
why you bring your own water bottle.
Okay, not all of us are fancy world travelers. We did 2 other museums that day.
Yes.
Yes, we did the Museum of Illusions.
Oh, yeah.
It was a small museum.
No. After breakfast, we went to the zoo.
That's right. This is the problem with not doing one of these a day. Is trying to remember back because we've done a lot. We went to the Berlin Zoological Garden and Aquarium.
Yeah.
The zoo was huge and very impressive. The animals had tons of space, even the ones in enclosures. The enclosures opened into larger areas that they could run into, and the enclosures were connected to each other. So like an animal wasn't in an enclosure. It had 3 enclosures that it could be in, all designed to look like natural habitat. It was not a depressing zoo, is my point. We saw a panda.
We saw a panda. We saw giant kitties.
And most importantly for Princess,
Sand cats. Tiny baby kitties. So they're like the smallest of the large cats.
they're the tiniest big cat.
They're so cute. They live in desert environments with very little water, mostly in Africa. And their kittens are just the cutest. You need to Google sand cats and look at their kittens because they're just so cute.
And of course there were elephants and giraffes and penguins.
We saw a rhino and we saw, did we see a hippo?
We did see hippos.
They were under the water.
One of them was under the water. One of them was at a distance.
One of them was a baby, and
There
was
was a
just
little
like,
baby hippo.
was just like, I want out of my pen.
We watched a seal show.
Yes.
We went to the aquarium. The aquarium is like half under construction. It wasn't as impressive as it could be. It was fine. Lots of jellyfish. The first floor was an aquarium, what you would expect. The second floor was
Reptiles, right?
yeah, because we actually did the first floor, then the third floor, then the second. That's why I'm struggling here.
Yeah, it makes perfect
The second
sense.
floor was reptiles. The third floor was insects, mostly.
Oh, and spiders.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So we did that. Then we did a couple. Then we had Chinese for lunch, which I enjoyed much more than she did. And then we went to the Museum of Illusions,
Yeah.
which was a small museum, but very interesting, very interactive.
Yeah, it's mostly like a little play place with some information.
Optical illusions. There was I have a video here of us going through the tunnel.
I cannot explain how dizzy this is. Holy cow. I can't.
God, the tunnel.
The video doesn't do it justice. I can't explain it to you, but
It's so disorienting.
You step into this. They have handrails on both sides of this tunnel.
And you need them.
You have to use them. We went through it twice in a row. Halfway through my second time through, I just couldn't anymore. I couldn't move anymore. I was too dizzy to take that next step. It was wild.
Yeah, and it's like we went back to do it again later, and it was like even though mentally like we know what it is, you're not prepared. Like,
No.
No.
And then there was just a lot of fun illusions. There was a kaleidoscope where you could see the other person's face infinitely repeated.
Yeah.
There's an upside down room, all sorts of stuff. It was small, but lots of fun.
It was entertaining for sure.
Then we went to the DDR museum and danced the night away.
Yeah. No.
Is that not what?
No, we didn't dance. We drove a car.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
No, it was, yes, I actually have a video of that as well.
Yeah. So DDR in English is GDR, which stands for like the German Democratic Party or something like that.
Basically, it's the Russian side of Berlin when the wall was up.
Well, it's the Russian. It was all of East Germany. I think this was all of East Germany, not just Berlin.
Yes.
So it's the Russian side of Germany. And it basically was like a very hands-on interactive exhibit of what life was like in the GDR.
I mean, everything was tactile. You flipped open panels to read more stuff. You open drawers. Sometimes music starts playing.
Yeah, sometimes Darth Vader starts breathing loudly at you.
Here's a gas mask. Darth Vader breathes. The most fascinating part, the part I really enjoyed, is they actually had like a home set up like it was back then. So you could see, here's the living room, here's the children's room, here's everything.
And the thing that I think is like really interesting about, so they have like those high tower buildings where it's like
Tower blocks.
Tower blocks, yeah. And those apartments were prefabricated in blocks. So they would do them in like little individual units, maybe rooms, I'm not sure. So it would be like the kitchen or whatever is prefab, and then it's just assembled into the tower block. And so all of them were like that, and all of them were identical.
And what was interesting, my takeaway was it was a fair and balanced museum, right? Because I think most of us can agree living under those conditions, probably not the best. Like, I don't think any of us would choose to give up the freedoms that they didn't have. But the museum did talk about some of the things that were like vacations. People were guaranteed vacations, and they got They could take vacations to specific destinations at a fraction of the price that it would cost other people.
Yeah, and childcare was totally paid for.
The cost of basic life necessity food was guaranteed. It did not inflate. It did not change. Now, that caused a lot of problems with the economy because people ended up with a lot of money and there were supply issues.
Basically, you had everything that you needed and nothing that you didn't need. And it was really hard to get those luxury goods. But eventually, more luxury, they actually had an exhibit about this where like more luxury stores started opening up, food and other things, so that you could get stuff that wasn't part of the basics.
Yeah. So the main point I'm making is like, I'm not trying to say that it was a great living condition, but the museum also wasn't just like, all of this is evil and it was all terrible. It actually gave a fairly complete picture of the whole thing.
And another interesting thing for me was that women and men had equal working conditions. Like there were no jobs that were men only. Women were allowed to do any of the jobs. And that's a big part because they had a labor shortage, which doesn't surprise me because that's been consistent in our history as well, of like when that kind of thing started happening. They still didn't get paid 100% the same, which is unfortunate, but there were a lot of movements towards equality.
I got a little piece of the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
And then we went and did my favorite part of Berlin. We went to a place called Liquid Rom, which is...
Penises. Just so many penises.
That is not my favorite part of Berlin, just to be clear. No, it was a sauna spa place. Although we went at night, it's open till midnight, and it was it felt like an abandoned part of the city. Like there were not a lot of people on the roads or the streets.
Or businesses.
Yeah, it was dark. There's not a lot of street lights.
That weird path
afterwards.
Was that after? No,
that was. No, afterwards we were walking through like the woods, and we were just like, we're gonna die. No,
I had a moment where I was like, if I was alone, I would have stopped.
So Liquid Rom, they have a big changing room where you change into your swimsuits. It's mixed gender. Although they do have little curtains you can close for changing, but not everybody was doing that.
Well, they only had like 4 of those rooms or something like that, and there's a lot more space in there, and so people were just straight up balls out.
Very much so. You get a little key that's a wristwatch, and everything else goes in a locker. The big attraction of Liquid Rom is a saltwater pool.
You missed the part where there were dudes showering naked, just right in front of you.
Yes, when it comes to saltwater, I think if you've ever done saltwater activities, it is typical to shower before and after. So you shower before you get in as a courtesy to not dirty up the salt water, and you shower when you get out because salt water, makes you crusty in interesting places. So we showered. It's a big saltwater pool.
There's no curtains on the showers, by the way.
No, but also we were showering in our bathing suits.
The other people were not.
Sure. The princess and I have never seen each other naked, and it is not our plan to ever do so. I didn't have a desire to be naked in front of a bunch of random people. She didn't either. And we didn't have to be.
No.
But there were a lot of other people who felt less inhibited.
Yep.
So big, warm pool.
Very warm, like bathtub warm.
With like a light show going on the ceiling and techno music being pumped into the water. So as you're floating there, it's light techno music, like not heavy industrial.
No, and you can put your ears underwater and you still hear the music.
There was a part in the middle of the pool, the way the ceiling is constructed.
Yeah.
If you spoke, your echo came back down louder than your voice. It was wild.
You could whisper and it would be like, Wah!
Yeah, you couldn't hear what the person next to you was saying until the echo came through, and it was so loud. And we were like, okay, we can't talk in the middle of this pool.
No.
And if you ignore the couples that were just there to make out, it was a good time.
But you have to wear clothes in this pool.
This is a clothing required part of the spa.
Yeah.
There is a smaller pool. It was full. We didn't bother to try and squeeze in there. It is clothing optional. It
was also outdoors and it was chilly, so we were like, let's get into the warm space.
Yeah. The saunas we didn't do, but those are...
Saunas are mandatory nude.
With a towel. You can wear the towel.
I think the towel was optional.
The towel might have been optional, But you could wear a towel.
Based on the naked man I saw walking around repeatedly for a long time.
It was, honestly, I loved it. I loved floating in the warm water and just relaxing. I was blissed out by the end of that.
And everywhere I looked, I saw penises.
So everybody won, really. And then at that point, Princess was like, I need a snack. And so she was taking us to a little brewery near-ish by that required us to walk through like a urban forest and up and down stone steps, all with no lighting, no other people around. I was just like, we're going to die.
It was a dirt path, too.
At one point, she had to turn on the flashlight on her phone so we could see the steps we needed to go down.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we turn a corner and, oh, look, it's a brewery.
Look, it's the...
And there's a bunch of people there. And the subway's 2 seconds away.
There's the
What
subway,
the hell?
there's the... Yeah.
We got there, the kitchen was closed, but
Sad.
they had snacks.
Snacks. They had good snacks.
They had great. They were like, you can sit at the bar, have a snack. Princess got one beer and was blitzed out of her mind by the end of it.
Yeah, I was really drunk.
I got to have unlimited water. Oh my God. The bartender was awesome. He speaks 4 languages. And he was like, yeah, I'm supposed to charge $2.50 a glass of water, but I'm not doing that. That's stupid. I don't care if my bosses yell at me. I'm not doing it. It's dumb. You have as much water as you want. He
even said something about like how there ought to be a law that people...
Yeah, water should be free.
Water should be free. And I was like, welcome to America.
Right? And so we actually had a pretty good smorgasbord of snacks.
Yeah.
But,
I had olives.
I had beef jerky and popcorn.
They were green and black olives, pitted delightfully.
The popcorn was excellent. It turned out to be seasoned with some kind of barbecue seasoning.
Barbecue rub or something like that.
It was really good. And I told the guy, this is great. And he's like, you know what? We're almost closed and we haven't sold any today. I got to throw the rest of this out. So after that first bag, the rest is free. And so I had like 2 more bags of it while we were sitting there. And then I was like, hey, we're going to be on the road for like 3 hours tomorrow. I'll take as much as you're willing to give me. He was like, hold on. And went and got a grocery sack and just filled it up with all the popcorn. And now I'm walking around Berlin with a bag of popcorn.
And boy, does it smell. It has a smell on it.
It's smelling up the car right now because we didn't get it out of the car.
Oh, no!
The car is gonna...
Oh, no!
The car is gonna... Maybe we should go after we finish.
Maybe we should go take it out. It smells like farts.
It's a strong smell. And this car is going to smell like that for the rest of this trip now. Yeah, so we went to bed and then we left Berlin because it was time to go on to the next phase of our trip, which brings us to today.
Do we want to do it today, tomorrow?
No, let's do today. Let's just finish this up. We're here.
Okay.
Where I took us to the wrong castle.
Whoops.
So probably the main impetus behind this trip is me. And my love of the video game series Gabriel Knight. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've been talking about it a lot since I've been here, but Gabriel Knight is modern day supernatural detective style story that starts with real events or real stories and then obviously fictionalizes them as it goes on. And it's based in real locations. The first game is in New Orleans. I've been to all the Gabriel Knight spots in New Orleans. The second game is set in Germany. And so here we are. I wanted to come to Germany. The third game is set in France. Believe me, that's going to happen one day. In the game, he inherits his family's castle called Schloss Ritter, which was the last name of his family in Germany. The second game is an FMV video game. It's a full motion video game, which they don't make anymore, but essentially it's a video game that they filmed with cameras. You click on the thing and then the actor acts out what happens when you clicked on the thing. Filmed at real locations. Schloss Ritter does not exist. But the place they filmed the scenes at does. It's a real place and we are here now, today. It is called Burg Rabenstein. I can't pronounce German.
Rabenstein.
And that was one of the impetuses. Like, there's nothing set in Berlin, so we're doing other stuff, not just Gabriel Knight stuff. But I'm hitting the stuff I want to see from the game. And this was a big part of it because in 2004, Burg Rabenstein turned into a hotel. You can sleep here. I mean, we're here. We're here. This is our hotel room. I have a video of us walking into this room.
This room is crazy.
Okay, so we just checked in to Burg Rabenstein, which is Schloss Ritter in Gabriel Knight 2. We are staying the night in an actual castle. I booked us a suite, and I am just going to do a quick walkthrough of the suite. I want to share this with you. So you have to use a giant key to open this front door. And then there's a living room area with an overview of the terrace. There's a seating area there, a table with seats there, a bench, some more seats. There's a sitting area over here. I don't know what this is, but it's impressive. Princess is out of frame, desperately trying not to be in the video, but there she is. It's too late. We've all seen her. So this is the lounge or sitting room of our hotel room. The bed, only one bed, but that's fine. We did that in Berlin. We can do it here.
You better believe I'm gonna pull these out at some point to see what it's like.
I firmly encourage you to do anything you want. There's a desk, a writing area. There's another sitting area over here. Pop open these closets. Let's see what we got. Oh, windows. There's a lovely view. Pop open the closets. Let's see what we got in there just because we're here. These lamps are like ram's horn or something?
Is this sparkling water? Yeah, you're gonna get it.
Well, I'm not going to drink the sparkling
Somebody
water.
left a phone in a phone charger. Maybe that's like the
That's
places
I
phone?
yeah, I think that's how we can call the front desk.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Not as
the
exciting.
closets look like closets. That's fine. Not everything can be amazing.
I thought it was gonna be really cool.
Into the bathroom. The sink area. And the bathroom.
Has a bidet.
Look at this tub
Here,
and a bidet.
let me just climb the stairs.
Yes,
That's
for scale. The princess isn't the biggest person in the world, but if she gets really mad at me, she can just sleep in here.
yeah, it's not bad.
This is incredible. It's a castle that you can stay in as a hotel. And I booked the most expensive suite. And we just got back from our 4-course dinner.
Oh, so full.
So good. The problem is, turns out there's more than one Burg Rabenstein in Germany. So
Who could have seen this? Who could have foreseen this?
yeah. So after Princess rented a car so we could drive around Germany. She rented an automatic transmission, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's what you originally booked, right?
No.
Oh,
I accidentally booked a manual.
because you can drive a manual, right?
No.
Oh, so yeah, that was a whole discussion.
We fixed it. I fixed it. I fixed it.
Not my problem. I'm not the one driving. It's in her name. I am the passenger princess. She's the driver princess. I'm okay with this. But so if you go like an hour and a half outside of Berlin, there's a Burg Rabenstein. Great. We get there. And I'm like, I think this is it. Parts of it look familiar, I guess. And we're walking around trying to find the entrance. Ain't no entrance to this place that we can find because it's the wrong one. The real one was another 2 hours and 45 minutes away.
Which I would have been angrier about until I looked at a map and saw that
It was on the way.
It was on the way. So I was like, okay.
We
we're
didn't
fine.
lose any time due to my mistake. I was just so excited to get there. I didn't, which does mean that tomorrow's trip will be shorter than we were worried it was going to be.
Yeah, it's only gonna be about 3 hours.
So yeah, we drove about three and a half hours outside of Berlin to come to Burg Rabenstein. It's fantastic. It's amazing here. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's been raining most of the time we've been here. So hopefully it'll be drier tomorrow.
We did a guided tour. They do a free tour, or you can pay like €200 for a private tour. For those of you translating at home, €1 and $1 aren't that far apart. There's a difference, but honestly, if you just think dollar for euro, you're in the ballpark. It's fine.
Dollar's a little bit. A euro to a dollar is a little bit more than a dollar.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
yeah.
close enough for rough math. Like, so.
It's like €1 is like $1.16.
But things are fairly cheap here. Like all those pharmacy things you bought was like $20.
The pharmacy stuff has been cheap, but the food here is not cheap.
No.
Food here is really expensive.
But this suite that we're in, which was confirmed by our tour guide to be the fanciest room in this castle, $300 for a night. It's a little pricey, but you see in the video that I filmed, like you get a lot of room for $300.
Yeah, we did not need this much room.
So you could do a private tour for around $200, but they do free public tours. We were the only people who showed up to the public tour, so it became a private tour in English. So we got to learn a lot about the history of this castle and the region in general.
Apparently it was burned down 3 times. Well,
Yeah,
destroyed.
just utterly
3
destroyed.
times.
We got to hear a story about a guy who got hit by 20 catapult boulders while he was on the toilet.
Yes, we did. Because it was dark and he lit a light while
While
on
being
the pooper.
besieged.
And
While the castle was besieged by 20 catapults, that light went on and all the catapults went there. And dude was dead.
So sad. But okay, so they talked a lot about like the various meandering pathway of like ownership of the castle.
And
but
the
it started
various
out with
families.
The something of Nuremberg.
Yeah, the Count of Nuremberg
No, it
or
was
the Marquis or...
It wasn't a Marquis of Nuremberg. And it went through a whole bunch of different other
And then
places
came back.
and then came back to Nuremberg. Weird.
The people who built the castle left for like 60 years, then came back and reclaimed it. It's...
All kinds of weird
This
stuff.
castle has a lot of history behind it. And then we did a 4-course dinner, because why not? I had wild boar for the first time. I was nervous that I wasn't going to like it, because I can be a little bit of a picky eater. Turns out, wild boar, delicious. It's somewhere between a really good pork chop and a decent steak. I don't know how else to describe it. And then Princess had some vegetarian thing, as it was described.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fine.
Yeah. So we are going to stay a little late tomorrow, past our checkout. We were only here for one night, but there's several caves nearby, and there's one cave in particular that they do a guided tour of. We'll do that. They have a falconry area, and if we stay absurdly long tomorrow, we can
Then I get to see the birds.
Exactly. And since Princess is driving, we're going to stay.
I decide when we leave.
That's how this system works. No, it's just that our next stop, it doesn't matter if we get there late. So,
And it's only 3 hours away.
yeah. She's driving. She's the one who's got to drive at night. Anyway, so that's kind of the first part of our Germany trip.
Yeah.
Have we forgotten anything important?
The caps. The bottle caps.
Yeah, the new law in the EU that all bottle caps on water bottles can't be fully detachable to avoid litter. So you unscrew the bottle cap and it still hangs on by a thread that cannot be broken, which is different.
It makes it really hard sometimes to get to drink out of it and to also put the cap back on.
They haven't perfected the technology yet.
It's not good.
So the plan for the rest of the night is I'm going to take a gigantic bath in a gigantic bathtub. Then tomorrow we'll do the caves, the falconry, and then we're off to Baden-Baden, which is a spa resort town.
Why do I feel like this whole trip is just set up so that you can be in water the whole time?
Don't forget the Gabriel Knight stuff.
That too.
Yeah, just those two things. Look, it's nice to take a trip and then in the middle of the trip, have a spa weekend. So, yeah, we'll check in with you guys next time. See ya. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye!